Tommy Robinson has been jailed for contempt of court. Again. Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Well, then you could be entitled to compensation. Nobody likes getting lowballed and given the runaround while at their lowest, and I know what it's like to be left stressed out of my mind and buried in paperwork while trying to keep a case moving forward. It is very, very hard. There must be an easier way. Well, Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, is there to streamline the entire process so that you can keep up with everything from your smartphone if you become their client. All you have to do to get started is answer a few questions, and then Morgan & Morgan will get the ball rolling with a free case evaluation. And from there, a crack team picked from a roster of over 1,000 lawyers across all 50 US states will take care of the rest. And if having a team of lawyers, paralegals, and investigators isn't enough, then 24/7 support is available from more than 6 cohorts of support staff, or almost 4,000 if you're not Rome-pilled. Point is, there will always be someone on hand to answer any questions that you may have. And with this much manpower at their disposal, you can be sure that Morgan & Morgan will be able to fight for the best result possible, having already recovered over $20 billion from more than 3 million clients. But if Morgan & Morgan is not able to win your case, then the fee is completely free. So, if you've been seriously injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan by going to forthepeople.com/Count Dankula or by clicking the link in the description to get started on a claim. They just really want to put this man away. Far-right activist Tommy Robinson has been jailed for 18 months after admitting contempt of court by repeating false claims against a Syrian refugee. Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, admitted 10 breaches of a High Court order made in 2021 during a hearing at Woolwich Crown Court. Lawyers for the Solicitor General accused the 41-year-old of undermining the rule of law. Passing sentence, Judge Mr. Justice Johnson said the breaches of the injunction which prevented Yaxley Lennon from repeating the allegations were not accidental, negligent, or merely reckless, and the custodial threshold was amply crossed. I mean, and anything, if he so much as farts, the judge is going to say, oh, the threshold for a custodial sentence has been crossed, because they're desperate to put him away for as long as possible. Basically, they were even doing things like going into like his family. I think they went so deep that they got like a second cousin of his on a tax evasion. I mean, based. But they got him on that because they were going through his entire family. They were going through everyone just to try and get like, basically they're doing the Al Capone thing where they try and find anything and everything to nail him on because they want to just put him in jail forever. And obviously they're giving him like the maximum sentence that they can give him, which is 18 months. The hearing on Monday was the culmination of events that date back to October 2018. That month, a video went viral showing how Jamal Hijazi, a Syrian in West Yorkshire, had been attacked by another teenager at school. Yaxley Lennon then posted his own response to 1 million Facebook followers, alleging that his investigation had established that Mr. Hijazi was a violent thug, a claim that was untrue. The Yaxley Lennon video spread widely, and the Syrian teenager and his family received death threats. 3 years later, Mr. Hijazi won £100,000 in damages when the High Court ruled the Yaxley Lennon's claims against him had amounted to defamation. The court imposed an injunction on Yaxley Lennon, banning him from making the false claims again. In February 2023, Yaxley Lennon, who founded the long-defunct English Defence League, began repeating the claims and went on to post online a film claiming he had been silenced by the state. That film may have been viewed at least 47 million times. Eventually, this July, the anti-Islam activist showed the film to thousands of his supporters in Trafalgar Square, saying he would not be silenced. The following day, he left the country because a warrant was issued for his arrest. And from what I understand, the main reason that he got arrested was for terrorism charges because he refused to hand over the PIN number for his phone so that the police could access his phone. One thing that the police definitely do as well, by the way, and I've noticed this, this has happened to several people, especially in the right wing. Whenever you leave the country and they take your phone from you and then hand you it back, they've just cloned your phone. They clone your phone whenever you leave the country and come back. They do. and then they try and build a network of people that you have in your contacts to see who they can connect you to, blah, 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 so that they can justify all the spy warrants that they're going to put on you. That's something that you need to be very, very mindful of when you're leaving and entering the country. Aidan Eardley KC for Solicitor General Sarah Sackman told the court that Yaxley Lennon had intended to repeat false allegations despite the injunction and then take evasive measures. I mean, what was he supposed to just live in Cyprus forever? I don't know. This is a high culpability case because of the high number of breaches, said Mr. Eardley. It is a continuing breach. The material is still out there, and some of it is under the defendant's control. Sasha Was KC for Yaxley Lennon, excuse me, said she was a journalist who had been following his principles and was a passionate believer in free speech. This defendant has been neither sly nor dishonest nor seeking gain for himself, she said. She said that he was such a controversial figure, he may be placed in solitary confinement by prison governors, as had occurred the last time he had been jailed, and there was medical evidence he had previously suffered trauma, panic attacks, and nightmares. I think he was kept in Belmarsh prison the last time, but he was kept in like the little special secure part of the prison, and in the cell above him was what's his face? The WikiLeaks, Julian Assange. Julian Assange was in the cell above him, and apparently they were like shouting out the slats of the doors and like having a nice conversation with each other. I wonder what they talked about. I'm definitely interested to hear what they talked about. Jailing Yaxley Lennon for 18 months, Mr. Justice Johnson said, in a democratic society. Yeah, good one. Underpinned by the rule of law, court orders must be obeyed. Nobody is above the law. Nobody can pick or choose which laws or which injunctions they obey or which they do not. Even if they believe that an injunction is contrary to their views, they must comply with the injunction. They are not entitled to set themselves up as the judge in their own court, otherwise the administration of justice and rule of law would break down. The judge said that the contempt of court had been aggravated because the defendant had repeated the claims after the beginning of proceedings against him, and he had not taken steps to stop the false claims continuing to be in circulation. The sentence could in future be cut by 4 months if the defendant showed the court that he had taken steps to remove the offending film. But the judge added, the defendant has not shown any inclination to comply with the injunction in the future. All of his actions suggest that he regards himself as above the law. This case was the fourth contempt case he has faced, having previously received a suspended sentence and a 6-month jail term. Yaxley Lennon has been separately charged with failing to unlock his phone for police when he was stopped and questioned at a port under counter-terrorism powers. He will appear in court in relation to that allegation in November, where they are going to try and imprison him for even longer. Basically, they want Tommy locked away forever because they don't like the message that he is portraying, which is the Islamic takeover of Britain, which he obviously has a severe problem with, and I'm sure many of us already do. As for Tommy, I have worked with Tommy in the past. I think the last time me and Tommy even spoke to each other was 2018. 2018 was the last time me and Tommy even spoke to each other. God damn. Tinder matches. I'm not checking because it'll be fatties. It always is. But anyway, right, the last time me and him spoke was in like 2018, and we haven't had any conversations or even worked together or anything like that since. And I do still have a lot of respect for the work that Tommy does, but drop the Israel shit, man. Like, you're a British nationalist, right? You're a British nationalist. It's fine for you to have an opinion on stuff, right? But one thing that I'm just sick of is British nationalists caring far too much about other nations. Right? I mean, it's fine to have an opinion on it and all that type of stuff. Whatever, you go ahead, but it's included as part of your activism. I mean, worry about home first. Right? That's all I'm asking. Like, worry about home first, Tommy. I don't think that's too much to ask. To care, you know, if you're a nationalist, then care about your nation. Right? It's all like, Israel, I'm over in Israel, right? And it's like, okay. Like, oh, for feck's sake. Now the fatties are phoning me. Right, but yeah, that's just the thing that bothers me about Tommy. I do think he does good work, and I know that that's very, very controversial, even among the right. Because I know a lot of people on the right have a bit of a dislike for him. He's a little bit of a liability in certain areas and all that, right? But I do still think he does good work. He's good at getting the common man to listen because he himself is a common man. He grew up poor. He grew up in an estate, and so the people relate to him because he had pretty much the same upbringing as all of them did, right? And they are also just like him noticing that the country is changing and not for the better. There is a lot of social upheaval all over the country. Culture is under threat. You know, fucking social services and everything are under threat. People are noticing all the problems that's being caused by uncontrolled mass migration, and Tommy is their megaphone for that. So in that respect, he does do good work, right? He does do good work, and he's very, very important, I feel, to the movement. You know, just the Israel. I just don't understand the Israel stuff.